All right, so if we summarize this concept of alternate picking and really understanding of whether we're talking about alternate picking, economy picking, whatever these things are, what we're really dealing with on the guitar is the availability of being able to move the pick back and forth, up and down, right? And utilize the availability of being able to add hammer-ons and pull-offs at our disposal at any time, still being able to bring the pick back in and be able to do down or up picking or both of them at any particular point in time. Okay? Now, I've also already made the point that sometimes you don't always start with a down pick. Sometimes you start with an up pick, right? Moving toward the ceiling. So what I want to do is just give you a little bit further instruction on inside and outside picking mechanics, okay? Because this is really important. When you play, if you do a lot of picking, whether it's pentatonic, whether it's diatonic, certainly you can see it in pentatonic. When I do something like this, you can see that I'm moving the pick back and forth. If I was to play a bigger scale, like let's say I play, what we call a diatonic scale. So I did something like this. Now you'll notice I've got my reverb and, delay and all that off, so you can hear this really well. Okay. Again, I'm using the concept of alternate picking, right? Back and forth. So what I have to be aware of, though, when I'm alternate picking is, do I want to start with a down or do I want to start with an up? And why would that matter? Okay, well, let me show you an example. Inside picking and outside picking refers to where you are on the strings, okay? So if you think about it, if these were two strings, like this is your first string and this is your second string, for instance, okay? And you're going to pick these two strings. Your choices are either to pick them down, down, right? Second to first string, that's what I'm thinking here. Down, down, or, up, up, or something like that. But if we're going to alternate pick, we're going down, up. Or we're going to go up, down. Now, remember, we're coming from somewhere and we're going to somewhere, which is the concept of escape routes, is knowing where we're coming from or where we're going to and how we're going to react to that element, right? Okay, so if we take a look at this, I'm going to show you this right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play 12, 12, then 12, 14, then 12, 15. So I have... Kind of sounds like Journey, like Separate Ways or something. Okay, so as I'm playing these, I'm playing 12, 12, 12, 14, 12, 15, and then I'm just going back 12, 14, and then starting all over again. Now, if I did those all with just down picks, after a while, I'm going to start getting a little tired, and it's going to take a lot more effort. So what I want to do is I want to start playing this with a down and then an up on this string. So if you think about it, I'm playing a down on the second string here, and I'm playing an up on the first string. So I am playing on what we refer to as the outsides of the strings, because there's lots of space out here. I'm on the outsides of the strings. So I'm playing down, I'm up here, playing downward, and then I'm down here playing upward. Okay, so that would be playing on the outsides. Well, if I put my pick inside these two strings, I put them inside the first and second strings right here, right? So it goes inside there. Now I'm playing on the insides of the strings, which means if I want to start with the second string, I'd have to start with an upstroke. But understand that right now I'm stuck inside those two strings. So I'm going to do this as an up, and this one as a down. So now I'm going the opposite direction, and I'm stuck inside those two strings. Now, I could decide which one I like better. Now, there's two things I want to think about as I'm trying to practice this. It can't just come down to speed, okay? If I do it right and I choose the right one and I practice it enough, there's no doubt it's going to get faster, okay? So that's certainly an element. But there's another element, comfort. In my opinion, even more so than speed. Which one feels more comfortable to you? Now, if I gave you the three choices of downs versus down up, outside, versus up down, inside, and you chose down, okay, I'm going to ask you to please choose another one. Because choosing the downs is fine, but it has a cap. It has a limitation, a very immediate limitation, okay? Where if you learn to utilize your alternate picking, but you choose the one that seems to fit you best, whether it's outside picking or inside picking, it's going to make a really big difference to your playing. If you're just choosing downs, that means that you're shutting yourself down. You're shutting yourself off from the next level that you could get to. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, please, I think you know me well enough to know that I'm not saying down picking is bad. What I'm saying is down picking is limited. Just like if you were trying to strum, if you limited yourself to only strumming down or only playing a G chord and, never, or open chords and never learn bar chords, you can clearly see the limitation. In your mind, you'd go, yeah. No, you need to learn your bar chords for sure, right? But there's people that will turn themselves down. They'll go, no, I don't want to learn to do alternate picking because it's too hard. Boom, there's the problem. It requires some of our effort. There's no doubt about it, okay? So now we've introduced the importance of alternate picking, and there's no argument about that. Alternate picking is really important. The question is, which way works best for you? If you've never thought about it before, now all of a sudden you've got this understanding that there's an idea of being on the outsides of strings when you pick, or being on the insides. Now, does that occur all the time? No, but I guarantee you when you get into certain kinds of licks that you play or certain patterns that you're developing, the more you start practicing what I'm talking about, you're going to start seeing it. And you're going to go, that's why I wasn't able to play that right. Because I wasn't understanding what I was actually doing when I should have done it this way because it feels better to me. It's easier for me to execute it. Thus, it sounds smoother. Okay? It makes me sound more confident, right? All these different things. There's a comfortability thing that's happening, or all these different things. So for me, learning the difference between inside picking and outside picking was really important. So it started defining that for me, whether I was starting a phrase or a pattern or whatever it is we might be referring to with a down pick or an up pick, subconsciously I knew what I was going to, so I knew that it would be more efficient to start with this. Now, when you've been playing as long as I have and for as many hours as I have, these are the things that become automated. You don't think about them anymore. Right now, you might be going, man, that seems like a lot to think about. But the more you practice it, it just starts happening organically. That's the whole point. Okay? So that's what I want you to be thinking about, is the idea of inside and outside picking. So that's, again, we're leading our way. This is an escape route. This is a definition of one of our escape routes. Now, we have lots of different kinds to study. Okay? But one is understanding that as you are playing things, to be aware of whether or not your pick is getting caught on the outsides of something or caught on the insides of something that you're practicing, and whether or not that feels good. Now, let's just absorb that for a second. And when you're feeling good and that's kind of making sense to you, I want you to come back because I got something else I want to talk to you about.